Hey, it's Ray in the room. We're going to be getting some edgy tones today.
Oh, you careful now.
So those who have been watching the GG YouTube page for the past wee while, you've noticed that I did a little bit of a demo on the MXR Joshua pedal, which is a brand new pedal that came out from MXR at the start of 2024. Now, there was a few people that were asking, like with the name, obviously, of this pedal, hinting at a certain Irish guitarist. Maybe we alluded to that at the start, but certainly with Ray's experience with said tones of the edge of U2 and whatnot, this pedal can really handle a lot of those. So you're going to show me a couple of things today, aren't you?
I took this pedal home and started getting my little U2 geek notebook out.
Did you put your little hat on as well?
I had my little edge hat on.
I mean, it's an essential.
Cultivated a goatee, exactly. And what I noticed is, as Keiran showed in the previous video, this ambient echo can do loads of things. But let's call a spade a spade. It's the Joshua pedal, and therefore it is going to be able to do a quite good approximation of the Edge's famous multiple delay guitar sound. So he would do it with two separate delays that would quite often be going left and right, and then he would, the mix would create that fantastic expansive sound. Here, we're actually just doing it mono, just clean sound. We're going with the Strat, and from watching live footage of Edge playing Where the Streets Have No Name, for example, it seems that he's in position 2. U2 fans can let me know if I'm right or wrong, but it sounds pretty good to us. And yeah, this is the setting that I've come up with that's going to sound pretty nice. The key to it, and you'll probably already know, it's the dotted delay sound, along with another one which is going in tempo with the track. And if I was to hit a mute so you can hear how it goes, that's what you're looking for. You want one really strong set of delays, and then they can die off after that. You don't want too many tails going, otherwise it just sounds quite sort of soupy and noisy.
Absolutely.
You want to keep that rhythm. So
it really reminds me of the Keeley Halo Andy Timmons delay. Because I think he did a very similar thing. It was two delays going into each other. One was a quarter note and one was an dotted eighth, which I think is exactly the same, because activating Echo 2 on this pedal will initiate just a quarter note delay. You've got it set to the dotted eighth there, which is obviously giving you that sort of vibe.
Yes.
Now, he used two memory men.
Memory
I'm
mans.
actually grab the other pedal here as well.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Aaron. This one here, which obviously is doing the kind of memory man's sort of sound, where there's slight modulation to everything as well. I'm hearing a bit of that in there, but whereas this guy diffuses into kind of more of a reverby sort of vibe, this is a much more prominent, you just obviously, we heard that just when you did those little...
Yeah, we need the percussive element more than... The ambience is kind of like part of the soup.
For sure.
And there is mod in here as well. You'll see on the control up here, this is the modulation one. And this pedal, because it is more than just the Edge pedal, they've put in quite a lot of modulation in there, more so than his sound needs, although you do need a little flavour of it. So we've got it just underneath 9 o'clock there. And key to getting this right for me, you can go on the computer and you can Google the precise delay times that Edge uses. It's all out there to be found. But of course, this pedal's kind of like for changing things on the fly. There's no screen or anything like that. What it does have is a tap tempo, which we all need. And so what I did was I jotted the BPM of a few U2 classics. That was Where the Streets Have No Name was that first one. And its BPM is 126. So you probably already have one of these on your phone anyway. It's a metronome app, which all great guitarists need. So I just put 126 on, and I'll show you what I did. I mean, it's on that setting already.
I was trying to find mine there as well, but it's too deep in my apps.
It's too deep, okay. So
I need to use it more.
Exactly, yeah. You haven't been practicing enough.
No, I've not.
So I would just set it off, and then we would do the tap tempo on the pedal, and then we would get close enough. So check it out. That's it there, and then what we do is hold that in, and then... Okay, you don't need as many as that. I tend to overcompensate and do a bunch. And now, the last thing you need to learn about edge tone is the pick is really important. I'll play the riff not with the normal kind of like part of this plectrum, and then I'll play it with what I'm going to do. So here it is on its own. So in fact, now I turn this pick on its side, and we'll talk about this in a second. And that is a huge difference. This is a Herco.
I had no idea about this until you showed me,
Right.
literally 2 seconds before we filmed, because I wanted to keep this as just
It's like
sort of new
trying to
as
avoid your
possible.
discovery.
Yeah. But that's a game changer.
Oh, it sounds so different. These are nowadays made by Dunlop, so certainly I got this from Guitar Guitar. It's a 75. It's still it's a nylon, but the point is it has a stubbly graphic, a grippy edge.
Yeah.
It goes a grippy edge.
Ah.
Oh! It goes up close to the edge of the pick. This is going to be hard. I think Edge himself it's a version of this called a Herdem, and they're German.
Right.
And you can get them on eBay for a terrible amount of money, or you can find these, which are easier to get. They don't quite go to the side of the plectrum, but as you can hear, what you do is you play it side on like this, or even upside down.
Show that camera there.
This one right there.
A little closer to you.
Okay, so rather than having it like so, I would have it like so. Or like so. And it means that when we strike the string, instead of getting... I'll just turn the pedal off for a second. Instead of getting a... we get... And as you'll hear in a wee second when we do the other riffs, that along with the delay is everything for getting this sound. So, should we check out a couple more of the sounds of the songs, the Edge songs?
Let's do it.
Let's look at my Fender Player notepad here for a second. So we've got 3 tunes. The next one is Bad, which is a big fan favourite. It has a BPM of 96. So, can you go down? Let's go down here. Okay, went too far. So we want 96. Oh my goodness.
And this isn't an ad for this particular metronome either, by the way. You can use whichever one you want to.
Yeah, this one
or
sounds
if you
like
have perfect timing as well, you can just use your brain, I guess. But
wow, good on you. Yeah, or you can get mine that sounds like the Geiger counter out of that Chernobyl TV show if you want extra fear factor. Okay, so same as before, we're going to leave the settings as they are, as I've set them here, because that is the correct way. The only thing that's going to be different is the beats per minute. So, let's have a listen. Now, turn the pedal on. Close enough. Remember, we're not trying to absolutely everything the Edge does. It's just to get a really good flavour for anyone who wants to buy this one pedal.
yeah.
So, yes, now Bad. Same idea. Okay, let's have... Okay. You'll notice that you play a lot less notes than it sounds like.
That sounds so cool.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
That sounds way cool.
It's lovely, and you let the delay do the hard work, because otherwise you're not going... kind of going... and it's going to bam, bam,
That's
bam.
one of the interesting things about this, because certainly with a lot of Edge's playing, for anyone who's obviously uses a lot of very prominent delay, because certainly for myself, as soon as I get kind of past that, like, maybe 30% on the mix and it becomes too audible,
Yes.
it's almost quite scary, because you know that, if you flub up any notes, you're going to be hearing that for weeks,
That's
probably
right.
at that
That's
point.
right.
Whereas, like, reserving your playing just that little bit more and letting the delay do the work,
Letting it speak for you, yeah.
it kind of lets, it means that you can concentrate more on, like, actually hitting the notes that you want to, and it
Yes.
sounds so much more complicated than it actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
by allowing just, simple open arpeggios that you'll hear in lots of U2's music, along with that chimey plectrum thing, as Keiran says, like maybe half as many notes as you would expect with any, if we just did an open D sus. I mean, that's instant Edge already.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
But we do have one more example, and it's Pride in the Name of Love, and we want it to be 106. So let me just bring this up a wee bit. There we go. 106? Yeah, 106 BPM. Now, sometimes, even though obviously you two are a one guitar band, because I don't think Bono counts, even though he's got a signature
Gretsch.
Sorry, fantastic singer, but it doesn't count. There are, like, for example, with Pride at the beginning, you get the harmonics, but you do also get another part that's just kind of going with a slightly different delay division, so it's just kind of going.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know whether it would sound good with. This is going to be the set. In fact, we need to do the time first. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that should be us. So yeah, I mean, there could be one where it's kind of. Probably is, in fact.
Yeah.
When you listen to the song, it's kind of that's happening, and you're also getting the. No, would you want to be a bit overdrive?
Let's
actually?
turn a little tube screamer on
there.
there
Tube screamer here,
to help those harmonics a little bit.
And then we got the. You get those extra repeats. Wonder, can I just try that without the?
Yeah.
Because I want to hear how. No, that's our BPM. That's more like it, eh? And as we were mentioning before, see if I play the riff without the delay on it, it's just. It's really nothing without. Well, no, that's not fair to Ed.
It's some nice chords certainly
chords,
in there, yeah. But this adds so much more to it.
Exactly, so much. And this sound you can adapt that for all kinds of U2 songs, like like Heartland. You would just one other note that makes this a much more useful effect that we just noticed when we put the tube screamer on. It kind of homogenizes the background into a bit of a wash.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
Great, but not what we want for this sound. Also, if you do a wee bit of muting with your right hand, you will get a way better edginess. So for example, allowing certain notes to ring out, the other ones maybe not so much. Even with changing the plectrum round there by accident. I know it's a different time there, but give a wee bit of mute to that G, and it makes all the difference to the riff.
It is kind of like a sort of a test in not only you keeping the note choices like limited, but also, as you're saying there, like particularly choosing to highlight certain notes there.
Yeah,
it makes you again just think that a little bit more about what you are playing, which can cause because see, for example, if you play the first one, The Streets Have No Name Again, and you just hit every note full velocity there.
Yeah, like I mean, it's a different sound, but still. Oh. It gets quite intense and busy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Whereas, obviously, with the muting there, it just becomes much more of a song.
It's the difference between it sounding like somebody doing a version of the Edge and then getting quite close to the Edge, if I may say so, with this pedal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, we were not really trying to say that if you buy this pedal, you will turn into said guitarist. But certainly if you were a fan of U2, maybe if you've got your pedals set up and you're looking for a new delay anyway, maybe your band does a couple of U2 songs, choosing this pedal would probably be a pretty good idea because, I mean, how hard was that?
It's certainly easier than having two delay pedals together. And obviously, in the initial demo and review that we did of this, showed all the other functions that are available in it, so it is an incredibly versatile pedal just by itself. But I think there was a very, very strong wink and a nod to what this was meant to be going for.
Yeah.
And certainly, I mean, you've spent a little bit of time with it, but certainly, you've not dived so deep into it.
Yeah, I didn't have to get the lab coat on or anything. I sat down on the floor and Googled some BPMs, and I didn't even have the instructions, and we're getting the. I mean, you could just do that all day long. It's gorgeous.
It's nice and easy. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? Do you think that the Joshua nails those edge tones? You're going to pick one up yourself and see for yourself? let me know in the comments down below. And of course, give us a subscribe, give us a like if you have liked the video. But until next time, I've been Keiran, joined by...
I've been Ray.
And this has been the Joshua Ambient Echo. God, it's tripping over there. I need a delay on that there. I would have been hearing that all over the place. That's been the MXR Joshua Ambient Echo. Have a great day.